I want you to imagine two different apartments. Same city, same neighborhood, almost identical rent. The first apartment belongs to someone earning around $95,000 per year. When you walk inside, you immediately notice a 75-inch TV mounted on the wall, a large leather sectional that cost about $4,000. The kitchen is filled with appliances, many of which are still sitting in their original packaging. The closets are packed with clothes and some of them still have tags attached. There's even a spare room that has been turned into storage for items that haven't been used in years. This person checks their bank account and feels tension. They are only 2 missed paychecks away from a serious financial problem. Now picture the second apartment. It belongs to someone earning $52,000 per year. When you walk in, the first thing you notice is space. A simple couch, a normal-sized TV, a kitchen that contains only the tools that are actually used on a regular basis, a closet filled with clothes that are worn consistently. The spare room is used exactly as intended, as a bedroom. This person checks their bank account with calm confidence. They have 18 months of expenses saved and invest 20% of every paycheck. Same neighborhood. But the person earning almost half as much has nearly 10 times the financial stability. This isn't really a story about income. It's about the hidden relationship between possessions and money that most people never fully understand. The first person isn't doing anything obviously wrong. They don't gamble. They don't have expensive addictions. They simply built a lifestyle over time that requires every dollar they earn just to maintain it. The second person figured out something that changes everything. Owning fewer things doesn't mean living a worse life. It means living with intention. And living intentionally creates financial breathing room that many high earners never experience. Today, I'm going to walk you through the minimalist money principles that separate people who always have money from those who never do, regardless of income level. These ideas aren't about restriction. They're about understanding that every item you own comes with ongoing costs that you probably never think about. Let's begin with a concept that will completely change how you look at every purchase. Everything you own has 2 costs. The first cost is obvious, the purchase price. It's the number you see on the receipt. But there's a second cost that most people ignore, and in many cases, it's even larger. That second cost includes storage, maintenance, mental energy, and opportunity cost. For example, think about a treadmill. It takes up space in your home, and space costs money, often around $30 to $50 per square foot each year in urban areas. A treadmill can easily take up around 20 square feet, which means you're effectively paying $600 to $1,000 per year just to keep it there, even if you rarely use it. There's also maintenance. Consider something like a boat. It needs cleaning, insurance, registration, repairs, and seasonal preparation. A common rule is that it costs about 10% of its value each year to maintain. So a $30,000 boat can cost $3,000 annually just to own, even if it barely gets used. And that's not all. There's also mental energy. Every item you own takes up a small amount of your attention. It needs to be cleaned, organized, maintained, and eventually dealt with. Research shows that clutter increases stress levels and reduces your ability to focus. Your possessions are affecting your mind in ways you don't even notice. Still not finished. There's opportunity cost. Every dollar spent on things is a dollar that isn't invested. That $15,000 home gym could have been invested and grown to $50,000 or more over time. You didn't just buy equipment, you chose it instead of future financial freedom. When you combine all these factors, many things end up costing more to own than they did to buy. Minimalists understand this clearly. They don't avoid things because they dislike them. They avoid them because they understand the full cost and realize most items aren't worth it. This leads to the first rule. Rule 1. Calculate cost per use before buying anything. Before making a purchase, estimate how many times you will realistically use it. Then divide the total cost by that number. A $200 jacket worn twice costs $100 per use. A $400 jacket worn 200 times costs $2 per use. In reality, the more expensive jacket is the better deal. This simple calculation eliminates most impulse purchases immediately. That $300 kitchen gadget you'll use twice a year, that's $150 per use. Meanwhile, a $30 tool used every week costs less than $1 per use. It also shows what's actually worth buying. A $2,000 mattress used every night for 10 years costs around 55 cents per use. A $1,500 coffee machine used daily can be cheaper than buying coffee outside. The math removes emotion and shows the truth. Rule 2. Apply the replacement test. Go through your home and look at everything you own. Ask yourself, if this disappeared today, would I buy it again? Be honest. Would you really replace that unused appliance? That item collecting dust? Those clothes you haven't worn in over a year? For most things, the answer is no. These items are in your life because of habit, not because you actually want them. They cost you space, time, and mental energy without giving real value. Minimalists remove these items. They sell what they can, donate what others might use, and discard the rest. At first it feels uncomfortable, but after that it feels freeing. Your space becomes cleaner, your mind becomes lighter. Rule 3. Never upgrade out of boredom. Many people replace things that are still working perfectly. A new phone, a slightly better TV, a newer car. It feels like progress, but it's actually destroying wealth. Minimalists follow a simple rule. If it still works, keep it. Boredom is not a valid reason. New versions are not a valid reason. Only real failure is. This habit alone can save massive amounts of money over time. Rule 4. Create friction for spending and make saving easy. People follow the easiest path. If spending is easy, you will spend. If saving is automatic, you will save. So remove saved payment methods. Delete shopping apps. Wait 24 hours before making non-essential purchases. And automate your savings so money is invested immediately when you get paid. This is more powerful than willpower. Rule 5. Count your possessions. It sounds simple, but it creates awareness. Count how many items you have in different categories. Clothes, shoes, gadgets. Most people underestimate by a large margin. Once you see the real number, buying more feels different. You're not adding one more item, you're increasing a number that's already high. That awareness changes behavior. Rule 6. Rent or borrow before buying. Most items are used a lot at the beginning, and then rarely afterward. Instead of buying immediately, test first. Rent equipment, borrow tools, try the activity. This helps you avoid wasting money on temporary interests. Rule 7. Understand the multiplier effect. One purchase often leads to many more. A boat requires storage, maintenance, and equipment. A home gym requires space and additional setup. The real cost is always higher than the initial price. Rule 8. Define what enough means. If you don't define it, you'll never reach it. As income increases, spending increases. Minimalists decide in advance what is enough. A certain house, a certain car, a certain lifestyle. After that point, extra income builds freedom instead of more consumption. Rule 9. Measure wealth by freedom, not possessions. Real wealth is about choices. Can you leave your job? Take time off? Change your life direction? That's what matters. Rule 10. Declutter regularly. Not once a year, but consistently. Small actions prevent things from building up again.